fabulous. You know,
Bro, my bad.
all right. Nah. One of the things that I think one of premises the viewership both mine and Q's would like to know is who are you and what inspired your candidacy. You two gentlemen are aspiring to become elected to one of the most powerful municipal governing bodies in the state of New Jersey. And I would like to know, because some of the viewership talks about it. What inspired your candidacy, and what things that you have done in your past, your experiences, long term, short term. What have you done that says that you're ready to lead?
Eddie, you can go first.
I'll take the first shot. All right. No, notice that I was up on the screen, so I knew it was my turn. So I'm Eden Rivera, line 16B, and I'm running for councilman at large. Basically, what my why is simple. I'm sick of the sick and tired. Sick of the status quo. A resident of Newark for over 37 years, right? I've seen Newark and it's good. I've seen it and it's bad, and I've seen it in the in-betweens. The situation that we're currently in is neither or, right? Our city is in a crisis, right? It's in a situation where it needs to be rescued, where we need to change the faces in City Hall, where we need to make changes, and we need to give the city back to our residents, right? I don't want to be misconstrued, right? The giving it back to the residents is limited to a certain point, right? There are certain things that you cannot be involved in, but my promise to you is that everything you can be involved in, everything you can have a voice in, and everything you can make a decision on, it will be your choice, right? As a councilman, right, I'll give you my perspective. I'm sick and tired of the city council saying yes, yes, yes to everything. I am going to hear you, right? My slogan says it very clearly. Your voice, I'm going to hear it. Your values, I'm going to respect them. And I'm going to be the councilman that for the first time, when you disagree with something, I will either defer it or say no. We need to start being able to do what's best for our city and not what's best for the pockets of everybody else that's profiting it from it. Thanks, guys.
What's up, everyone? Jamar Youngblood here. Newark native. I'm from Clinton Avenue, so like this city raised me. I'm not the person who I am today without this city. I was lucky enough to go outside of Newark, get some education, and I have the context on how other municipalities or how other countries or cities are solving some of their most critical issues. The things I've done for the city, when you think of the innovation in the past 10 years, especially at the grassroots level, I'm a part of that. In 2017, I helped the city build technology to protect women and teens from street abuse and domestic violence. During the pandemic, I built technology to connect the mentors with public school students so they could stay connected during the lockdown. And I just came back with that context that we truly have the opportunity to do some amazing things in our city. We are wasting our potential, but we do not have a vision that I think is adequate, especially given that we're in a crisis right now.
Actually, trying to finish eating. I didn't mean to hit the button.
So
Kill 'em.
yeah, like
Oh, Jamar, were you done?
yeah. No. Let me just wrap up.
All
So
right.
right now, I just stopped because I heard some noise. So right now, we're in a crisis, and I don't think not too many people are stepping up with ideas or any bold enough ideas that I think were adequate enough. So again, I'm stepping up. This is a grassroots movement. I'm running most of the things by myself, but I was able to get some momentum. So I'm just excited to help bring some innovation and some vision back to our city. That's
Okay.
all.
All right.
Okay.
Apologize for that, you guys. Hold on.
Ms. Montague, I'm sorry, I don't know if you heard the question.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't. I'm sorry.
all right, no, okay, no. So I said, your candidacy basically you're running for one of the most powerful municipal governmentships in the state of New Jersey. Usually whoever is on the whoever is the mayor or on the city council for the city of Newark usually helps direct politics in the state of New Jersey. And I said to you, what I said to the guest was, what drives your candidacy and what has inspired you to run to become, one of the most powerful individuals in the state of New Jersey.
So thank you for that, Anton, and thank you both for having me on your show tonight and honestly having this forum. It is so important that we have media to share our philosophy, our political stances, and to allow people to know who we are as candidates. Because many times we don't have enough media, if you will, especially locally, to do that effectively. So hello, listening audience. My name is Sheila Montague, and I am 8A candidate for mayor here in the city of Newark for the 2026 mayoral election. And there are many factors that played a role into my running for public office here. I think that we need people that are from here, that understand where we live, that understand the lived experiences that the average citizen lives every day here. And one thing that I noticed, we have a dual reality, right? It's the one that's on social media, that's built like the entertainment apparatus of politics, and it's the real raw one that happens in the actual everyday community. And I felt like one reason for my motivation was it's time to mesh those two together without getting deep into any one component. Another thing was when I first saw Barack Obama get elected, and myself, like rest of the rest of the world, was really elated to see, a man of color to, get in office. And I never forget my thought processes when the camera panned in front of him and I didn't see any faces that looked like ours. And I said, wow, I said, so we're really missing the mark here in this particular atmosphere. So that really motivated me. I became a part of, I was a teacher at the time. I became a part of NGA had a program that was developing teachers for political roles in our community to address the incoming charter schools at the time. Also, consequently, I got involved in Leadership Newark, which was a 2-year program here that was also prepping residents and the like for leadership in our community. And so those were 2 things. A third motivation was me having a son. My oldest son is 34 years old. And at the time, my son was almost killed by senseless violence in the streets playing basketball. Right. Not once, not twice, but 3 different times. And one time it was playing basketball. And let me say, it wasn't Newark. It was actually in South Orange over who had next. And guns got involved. Right. Because the people were from Newark. The second time was right by University, the school that he graduated from. Just happened to be coming home. And I guess somebody tried to rob him. Like I said, just a random thing for his iPod, something he had then. The last time he was actually in college and he was walking on my block with a friend that happens to be an officer's son. And once again, they were robbed. So my thing was I was raising my child like that. And I really didn't understand what had went so awry in the street that all of this crime was happening under my nose. And my son is not at all a criminal type person. He doesn't hang in the street. Like he plays ball and that's kind of it. And so these things really motivated me to get involved. And after I had my bout with cancer, and I made it, I realized, I made a pact with God. I said, I want to make sure that, if I ever am not here again, that I've my due diligence to try my best to make my community better. So that was another motivator that got me really involved and wanting to just make an impact in this community. Oh, and last but not least, because I think I did say 5, there was a young lady I had in my class that ended up passing away. And you guys might remember this story. was a big story, and the young lady died on the first day of school. She never made it to school. She was a part of a cheerleading club here in the West Ward. And some people came up in their house, maybe in the early wee hours of the morning, and like literally shot and killed almost everybody in there. Maybe one person made it out. That impacted me a lot. And those things together um, built the type of person that I said, you know what, I'm going to commit the rest of my life to try my best to do the best that I can to make this city better. And yes, we've had an old guard here that has been in charge, but the more I peel back the layers of the onion, I saw, pretty much like what Jamar said, that there was some help that was needed. So I entered to try to do the best that I can. And that was about 13 years ago. And it's been quite a journey. So hopefully I have time to share a bit of that. But in short, those are my motivations collectively with how and why I got involved in politics here in the city of Newark, and now running for mayor for the state of New Jersey, for the city of Newark in the state of New Jersey.
Khalil, your mic is muted.
Oh, my bad, my fault.
Anton, did you want to answer the question again, if you don't mind?
I'm sorry. Basically, the question is, and it's evolved after a few candidates spoke. Is basically like, Newark is a very strategic place politically in the state of New Jersey, and the mayor and members of the city council of Newark usually yield tremendous power. And I said, based off of that, and me asking you that, what has become or what has evolved as your motivation in running for mayor of the city of Newark? Running for office in Newark's in the state's largest municipality.
The lack of inclusion, the lack of involvement. We can sit there and say it wouldn't be that many people running for office here if everything was okay. So, having run in the past for South Fork Councilman in 2014, was even running, I guess, in 22 when the last time we had a municipal election where nobody really got on the at-large ballot due to the fact that they threw majority folks' numbers out because we had to get, like 1,600, 1,500. So they threw majority of the candidates that ran for at-large ballots out due to said the signatures was wrong or whatever, which I doubt was crazy. But just motivation continues to help the people, and evidently something is wrong where as this many people is running, evidently a change is needed all across the board. So that's one of the key motivating factors to run, and just being, tired of hearing the wait your turn. We still got people waiting their turn and they in the grind. So, wait your turn and your turn will never come. So that's one of the driving factors of why I decided to throw my hat in this at-large race.
All right, we have someone else. Hold on. Now, Dara, you had been there since the beginning, so I'm quite sure you heard the question. Now, Dara, you are more than welcome to answer the question. Before we get started, I appreciate everybody for joining us. Like we said when we started, and we know that it's a lot of us, and guys, just be patient, and let everybody get an opportunity to answer the questions and explain their position. Go ahead, Nadira. You're good.
I came in. Is it the question about my why?
Yes.
Just want to make sure.
Exactly.
You
got it. You're a school teacher.
No, not. Let me tell you, I give props to the teachers because I learned during COVID that I'm not a teacher. And some of my coworkers were upset because I went to work when they stayed home. I couldn't teach. I'm not a teacher. So blessings to those who are. Hello, everyone. My name is Nadira Brown. I'm going for at-large at May 12th. I'm sorry, guys, because my screen is showing something different from me speaking. So that kind of threw me off. But I want to tell everybody my why running at the council meetings for the last 3 years. And when I realized that for 3 years, I've been speaking, bringing up my concerns and the concerns of the community, there has not been a response. I've been watching where other members I don't even know bring up their concerns, felt for them, no response. Then just to look at the conditions of what we're living in. I grew up here, 16th, I'm about to be 50. This is not how it was when I was growing up. So a lot of people feel, yes, being an activist, oh, that's not good enough. But being an activist, there was a lot of things that I've learned in the process of helping people that I realized that the people that are in the seats aren't doing what they're supposed to do. I'm not against anyone, but it's like a job. It's just that you're elected doing it. And if you don't do the job well, guess what? You're going to get that warning. You're going to get pulled in the office. You get your evaluation. See, we need to start evaluating the people that's in the seats right now. So maybe they can understand what we don't agree with. Because it's like I had to tell somebody the other night, we looking at the number 6, we looking at the number 9, but depending on the angle where you're standing, it's the same number. It's just that we have a different view depending on how we're looking at it. And that's how I feel with this city right now. There's people that's been put in place that feel like they doing the best. They want to make flyers saying they doing all types of things. But then when you ask them to actually break it down, you don't get a response. Everything is vague. We need some change right now. It's a lot of things going on, and we need individuals that are going to speak up, do the work, and execute a solution. And I want to say thank you for that. And that's my why, because I'm tired of waiting for somebody else to do it, and they're not getting it done. Thank you.
All right, we have Noble. He's here as well.
Mhm.
And then we'll get into the questions after Noble. Anybody else that needs to enter, they can enter.
Y'all have
Noble,
a packed house tonight.
yeah. The candidates are here, and we appreciate you guys, and the constituents to really appreciate you guys for showing up and being able to articulate your why. Noble, that was the question that Anton asked first. Your why on why you feel you should be running for your position, which is mayor.
Okay. Well, one of the biggest things, obviously, you have my kids here. 5 kids and all graduated. Well, 4 of them graduated from Science Park High School. I have 1 left in science. And I see the deficiencies in the education system. I see how we can actually streamline students right out of college, right to work in our city. We have 80% of people who live in the city of Newark are not working in the city of Newark. And this it's you imagine having a Ferrari in your backyard and you take it out for a drive and you never take it past 20 miles per hour. That's what the city of Newark is. It's this beautiful Ferrari that nobody has ever opened up and showed the potential of what it can be done. I keep posting time after time, companies after companies, billions and billions of dollars coming into America. And a lot of states, Illinois is capitalizing, Massachusetts is capitalizing, Ohio's capitalizing, Pittsburgh is capitalizing. And yet here we are, and I have an administration that I tell everybody all the time, our city has the 5 elements and all the city has. We all know it. We all know very well. We know it has the ports, the airports, the train lines, the zoning for industrial manufacturing, and we have the people ready to go to work. And what do we have? We have an administration sitting on it, sitting on this beautiful Ferrari of a city we have, doing nothing with it. And you got a guy like me that's written over nearly probably close to, I would say about $400 million in requisitions in the last 15 years, hired over 1,000 subcontractors. And all these projects I worked on came in on time and under budget. When you're running for the city, you're running as a CEO of a major corporation. The city is a corporation. The problem is we have everybody coming into office like the principal of Ross Barack. He doesn't come from a financial background. And the thing is, when you don't work with money, you don't know how money works. And this is the thing, and I'm seeing it over and over. And I work with the machine, with the party here, for the last 30 years. I work with them. I was a district leader for nearly 20 years here in the city of Newark, and I work with these people. The very people I'm going against are the very people that I work with, and I see how they work, and I see how they prey on the people in Newark. How do they prey on them? By perpetuating poverty. Is more beneficial to keep people in their status quo as opposed to getting them out of it. Now we see that they are purposely allowing people to live in squalor, allowing people to live in situations that the city could easily repair. And why are they doing that? Because they want people to leave on their own terms. And if they can make things very bad, they can get them out a lot easier. And this is predatory. And I like people are saying, we don't see anybody coming to the rescue. But the thing is, this city needs money. I know how to bring money to the city right away. I'm currently working with a biopharmaceutical company. I just got another load in from China of their products and raw materials this past Monday. So we're all already, and this is the funny thing. Even if I don't become mayor, I'm still moving forward with bringing manufacturing into the city of Newark. I'm running, whether or not the city is with me or not, it's irrelevant. We got to get our blue collar workers, and remember, Newark is 70% blue collar. We are not a white collar town that they're trying to genderify us into being. That's not who we are. So we need to immediately get thousands of people back to work by bringing in manufacturers as soon as possible. Yeah, you want to borrow money from the state of New Jersey, and right now, what do you have? 84% of education is paid for by the state of New Jersey. We know that's all coming to an end this summer. We know massive layoffs are coming here this summer. Police, fire, teachers. The state can't afford it. We're running in an unsustainable system. And you have to ask yourself, how the hell does a city that's right now generating $1 billion alone from the Port Authority, and we are going broke faster than ever before? Now the mayor, wants to show about his accolades and how great of all the things he's done. And we always say it's not for us. It's for the people who are coming after us. And this is a problem. And this is why I'm here. I'm running to take over the city and bring money into the city as fast as possible.
All right. Hold on, you guys.
Hello?
Anton, you got your first question? You want to ask him?
Well, what I would like to ask everybody,
we're gonna start with Eden, you guys.
All right. Go ahead, Q.
No, we're gonna start with Eden and work ourselves around. I know there may be some time constraints on a few candidates, so just ask that you be patient. We're not timing you guys, but have some respect for the platform, where your answer could be within 3 to 5 minutes, if you don't mind. Anton, go ahead. Pardon me.
Very quickly, I'll ask the first question. And someone may have heard it before.
Okay.
What do you believe are the 3 most pressing issues facing Newarkers in the city of Newark, and how do you plan to address them if elected?
Obviously, with the homeless.
No, Noble, not yet. Noble, not yet. Not yet.
Affordable housing.
Go ahead, Eden. Pardon me.
No, it's okay. It's all right. So basically, I don't want to sound like a broken record, right? But affordable housing is clearly one of them, right? We all know the housing situation in Newark. The other is public safety, right? There is no relationship with public safety between public safety and the community. The third one, and the most clearest, is a lack of leadership, right? An administration that really just doesn't care about the city. The priorities are simple, right? We need to start considering our city and taking our residents into consideration. They've been deprived of the attention that they need. They've been deprived of the city that I grew to know, right? And that many of our elders established, right? A city that was together, a city that held its own, is no longer in that position because of the leadership that it has. The housing is not affordable because of the leadership that it has. The leadership is the problem with all of those 3 issues. And we have to just fix it. We have to make a change. All of us here, and I can tell you, as separate candidates, we can all agree that there needs to be a change in 2026.
Jamar?
Yeah, so I think the top 3 are, the first one is broken systems, and that just means like the systems that we're operating in, they just do not work. From every single department, you can see that they all have the same flaws. They are mismanaging money, they are not enforcing their rules, and they're not fixing basic problems that were identified years ago. So that's one. The second one is we have a broken culture, and that's just how we behave. When you look at the top and you look at the mayor, you see how he behaves, that trickles down all the way down to the departments and to people in code enforcement, where everyone think that they're in it for themselves. So that's why you see so many corruption allegations and articles out there. And then the third one is we are dealing with too many residents who have lost hope. And the problem with losing hope is that you just don't believe that things could change. So you're not going to be active. You're not going to be civically engaged. You're not going to believe that things could get better. So I'm speaking from a very high level. I think those three things are the most important problems that we need to figure out here in our city.
Sheila. Wait a second. Hey, Sheila, I'm coming to you. There we go.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, so the three most pressing issues, I believe, so we have a lot of issues here, a lot, and then we could run the gamut on that. But I'm going to say the number one most pressing issue is environmental, and I think it's so essential because people are talking about that at all. And even when I go to meetings, like 99.9% of the people are not even coming to the meetings and not even aware. We have people from out of town literally paying people to come to the meetings, and people are still not in attendance. I think it may not be being marketed well, if you will, but the point is that we have a huge air quality issue here. And I don't know if people are not talking about it because they don't know, but it is cancer causing. And a lot of people are going back and forth to the hospital. There's a lot of respiratory issues that exist because of it. We have a lot of mechanic shops that are functioning in our communities that are painting just randomly with fumes all over the place. And if you compile that with the situation with trees, we don't have trees here. The type of trees, and then there's male and female trees. And so in getting on, not trying to get so deep into it, but the environmental issues are huge. And especially in the ironbound section of Newark, which is why I'm always engaged trying to help them fight back from a lot of the development that is taking place down there. It's not environmentally conscious, and it needs to be. Even, when I'm listening to talks about bringing back, manufacturing, the factories down there, right? Those alone were adding to the pollution issue that exists there. And like I said, this is all over Newark. It's not just concentrated, but it's not just there. So I would say that is the first thing, especially being a cancer survivor. I think your life kind of trumps all other issues, but they're still all important. Let me see. Another issue I would say is economics, right? People who live here and who want to stay here, and especially in the face of gentrification, must be able to make money here. And what we see right now is a lot of people coming from outside having those economic advantages and opportunities. However, we are left out of that. Even when huge companies do come here.
I can't hear.
You can't hear anything I'm saying?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, Sheila. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. And especially with the companies that are here, many of those.
I can't hear Sheila.
Okay, so I don't know what to do if he can't hear me.
All right, just let her finish, and we'll try to articulate it to you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So again, with all the buildings that are coming here, the businesses that are coming here, many of them are bringing their own employees. Right. And that's not good. So we have to focus on building our economics here, not just with the big businesses, but with the little mom and pop businesses. If you are looking into the business corridors now, especially the ones in Central Ward, South Ward, and West Ward, we don't have native Newarkers operate in those businesses in the way that we saw 15 years ago. We have a lot of immigrants who are here, and which we welcome as long as they follow the process to come here. But there's something wrong when we don't see these businesses making the chicken, cutting the hair, doing hair. Period. There's just so many businesses that we had here, shoe shops, lawn, clean. And those businesses are not in existence anymore with us. And so in order for that to happen, I think, again, it's very important that we have people who have lived experiences and know not only how important it is, but to understand that is needed to assist people in getting to the point where they can have those businesses and thrive in them once they get them. Now there's another issue that the development is here. That is what I think is the last big issue. With the development that's coming here, there's too many that are having 30-year tax abatements, and they're not getting back to the community. So a tax break, right, is not a break for a community, right? When you have approximately 20% of home ownership that's carrying the burden. So you have about, again, 75 to 80% of the people that live here are renters, and they can't afford their rent right now. So the rent anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 from a studio and up, right? And so we're looking at even the homeowners' taxes going up significantly in the next several years. And so when we look at that, we see that we are being displaced. We see that gentrification has had an impact, and it's not a positive one for Native Newarkers. And we want that, right? And so we have to start looking at the way that incentivize people to come here, right? And the way that we issue tax breaks, that they're not just, hey, they're a freebie. Hey, you get a 30-year tax break. No, they need to be looked at more critically in terms of having a cap, in terms of making sure that those, even with the cap, that somebody does oversight to ensure that they're doing what they said that they were going to do to the letter when they first came here, such as the distribution of jobs here. I remember, for example, when ShopRite came here, they had this 30-year tax abatement, and they were supposed to, out of many things, have jobs here. And when it was paid off, well, we don't see our young people in there working anymore. How we did initially when they came, we see the young people outside of the door asking to carry bags and things of that nature. So those are the three huge issues that I believe that impact Newark greatly, along with a lot of others that we can have a conversation about. Thank you.
Great. Hello.
Well, my three, number one, like you're probably going to hear it a lot, is public safety. That's number one, the top priority. Followed by, it's a two-part. My next two is going to be two-part. One is going to be economic development as well as affordable housing, because number one is, as we build in the city up, new skylines, new buildings, new apartments, where's the jobs coming from? I mean, it's cool to have people with a place to stay, but ultimately, where they gonna entertain themselves at? Where's the recreation? Where's the enjoyment? All right, we build 1 million apartments downtown, but where's these people gonna have recreation at? We're not. They're leaving the city to go enjoy themselves. Majority of the Newark residents don't even stay in Newark to entertain themselves. They going to New York or they going to other cities. So as the economic development come along and the new apartments come along, we got to bring our economic as well to keep revenue and generate revenue here in the city of Newark. The third is infrastructure. Infrastructure is a major facet component, because not only do we have to fix our infrastructure, we have to make sure that our roads is not flooded when the water. Because you see what happened in the West Ward, you thought flooding was just a South Ward issue over there with Weekway Park, but you've seen in the past storms when the West Ward went flooded, where some of them blocks was underwater for days. So we definitely have to fix our infrastructure with the plumbing, with the water, with the pipes, city services, as well as our transit system. So my top three will be public safety, economic development with housing affordability, and infrastructure with city services.
Noble,
Yes.
your three pressing needs for the city.
Yeah, same thing. It's always going to be for me. It's the homeless. It's the people who are drug addicts on the streets, and obviously affordable housing. With my plan and my phase of bringing in manufacturing, this will bring those numbers down substantially. If you guys, anybody do a little bit of research, you'll see the companies from like Taiwan Semiconductors. You have Johnson and Johnson. You have Apple. All these companies here are looking for a home. Once we get these manufacturing and everything into our city, we will be able to generate more jobs. That means kids from the hours of after school until 10 p.m. Or 9 p.m., these kids will have paid internships. And we want more so, every single child that's in high school, I want them all to work 2 days a week minimum as an intern and learn skill sets in different companies. I mentioned at the forum we had on Monday that we have about 40 developers with live work today. All 40 of these developers should have students on their jobs, working as assistant project managers, working and getting a skill set of assisting electricians, assisting HVAC on the job. And we don't have that. Why is that? Why are they excluding, our citizens? Now we all know there's the majority of people on these jobs are either illegal or they're not from the city of Newark at all. They work on behalf of the developer. They come from an outside organization, and they have these jobs. But in 2018, we experienced one of the lowest crime rates. Why was that? You know why? What that was? That it originated from lowering corporate tax. When they lowered corporate tax, we had more black-owned businesses. We actually had a 400% increase in black-owned businesses because of the corporate tax being cut down from 35% to 21%. If we continued on a path like that, the more people we can get working, the more students we can get in internships, the more we're going to get them off the streets, and the safer our streets will become. Now, in regards to low-income housing, we have we obviously we have an immigration system that it's all about supply and demand. We know that when you flood a city with thousands of extra people, there's no supply and demand goes up and price goes up. So we have to curtail how many people are coming into our city, and those people who are here now and they're working and not being a burden to our city, so be it. But the thing is, who's watching that? Who's watching who's coming into our city? We know the current mayor is pushing the sanctuary status, which is understandable for whatever reason. But at the same time, it's hurting us as Black and Hispanic citizens. And the thing is, if we don't combat this head on and get ahead of this, we are not in a sustainable position. So all things from lowering crime, lowering housing, all stems from one major thing: bringing more work into the city. Again, there's no other city in America that is zoned for manufacturing like Newark is, with the ports, with the people ready to go to work. We have the elements, and we can get the work in if we had an administration that was actually reaching out to these organizations and these corporations. But everything comes from a root situation. It's about money. If you don't have money in a city, you're going to have these results. We just had the jewelry store broken downtown Newark today. We're gonna have these things are going to escalate because there's not going to be any money this summer once these layoffs start really kicking in. We got to get on top of this now and start literally marketing our city to outside manufacturers ASAP. This is how we save our city.
Okay, Eden, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Mhm.
Getting around, you guys. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for joining us. Appreciate the patience. Yeah, I'm trying to get to you, Nadira, but for some reason the connection keep dropping. But I'll come back to you, Nadira. Eden, I want to ask you, and you can unmute your mic. After this election cycle, been highly contested. It's been a lot of accusations all across the board. How are you willing to collaborate with other ward members, mayor, if you're elected?
So listen, this is clear, right? That
Just speak up a little bit more. Just speak up. Come a little close. Thank you.
there hasn't been any clearer message than the one that we're delivering this election cycle, right? I don't believe that we're going to split up in any way, whether win or lose, right? The mission is simple. We're all fighting for Newark. We're all running because we're fighting for Newark. We want our city back. So I can tell you, I can't speak for anyone else. I really do not care if there is a division right now between me or anyone. We need to put that aside May 13th, right? We need to start making a plan as to who got a seat and working with that person and helping our city succeed. And we need to move forward more we need to move later on in the date where July 1st comes, right? Not only do we have to work with that person, but we have to completely support that person moving forward, right? We can't just say, hey, I lost the election, I'm giving up, I'll wait 2 years and then I'll start my campaign again. See you in 4 years when it's time for me to shine again. That is the problem that we have now. We have an administration that gets reelected, gives people attention for a couple of months, disappears, and comes back in 3.5 years because they know they need to spend the next 6 months convincing you to vote for them. So my personal commitment, I can't speak for anyone else, is that I will continue to, no matter what the differences were that arose from this election, I will continue to work with whoever lands in that seat. And I expect the person that, if I get elected, I expect people to give me the same courtesy back.
Jamar?
For sure. I think just by listening to this forum right now, you can see that we are not short of ideas. So what we need to do right now is to unite our brightest residents, our not only our brightest residents, our residents with the most integrity, our residents with the most compassion, our residents with just the most desire to just want change. So to me, that doesn't matter who you are. If you're intelligent, if you have compassion, if you have integrity, this city needs you. And as the mayor, my job is to unite all of us. The name of my organization is called Our Newark because I truly believe Newark belongs to all of us. So my goal is to unite all of us, and we need intelligent people right now to come save our city. And just real quick, I'm going to stay on for a few minutes, but I did promise my community that I would go on live. So I'm gonna stay on for a little bit and just listen up.
I know you told me you had an earlier
Yep.
commitment. That's quite all right.
Yep.
Sheila. I know Sheila. I know we actually talked earlier. Your mic is muted, Sheila. I know we actually talked about this earlier, and you basically told me like, look, bro, like I don't have no problem working with anybody, but you heard the question, let everybody know the answer. Basically the answer you gave me when we talked earlier.
What
About-
did I mean?
About
what did I say?
being able after this election, it's been so contested, a lot of emotion, a lot of heartfelt issues are being discussed.
Yeah.
Are you going to be willing to work and collaborate with each other if you're elected
Okay,
with
so-
other members?
Yeah. So quiet as it's kept. I don't have a problem with any of the current council people that sit on it. And I think that's what we talked about earlier. And it goes back to something I also said earlier about it's a dual reality that exists, right? If you look at social media, you would think like, oh, look at all of these people not getting along. Look at all of this drama and stuff going on sometimes, but it's really not the case. Like you can't not have relationships with people that you've been, in the city with for over 50 years. So these people, we went to school together, we've played ball together, we've had weddings, fights, all kinds of things together growing up. So there's a camaraderie there that will always have us getting along, even in the most heated disagreements. That makes sense because we are still one here in the city of Newark. Yes, it is a culture, right? But there's some other factors play a role in that. So it's the common sense factor, which is why I think that you can't have
Still can't hear.
Just to say, Sharp James, if you can't hear me, can you just not say that then for right now? And I apologize if you can't. Thank you. Just like Sharp James, right? He had a way that he brought this city together, and it wasn't just because of one thing. It wasn't just because that you didn't have common sense or you had so many degrees, right? He had everybody together as a collective. And that's the same model that I want to have as well. I want to have our pragmatic people at the table of decision making. I want to have, of course, people who have went to college and have degrees, but it's something to be said also people who have just, like I said, this common sense and a sense of discernment and wisdom and compassion and understanding. So these things are important as well. and to mix them in a pot together, I think it's going to make really well for relationships. But the one major thing is respect and just being respectful to each other. And like I said, those of us who want to take care of the business of the city, and let me be very clear about that, the business of the city, right? When we're talking about economic and environmental issues and bringing factories and manufacturing, all of those things are business orientated, and you need to be a voice for your ward. Now, if you're somebody that is a whole city person, like a mayor or an at-large candidate for the whole city, I feel very strongly about the fact that you need to be a part of the whole city. Like right now, we have candidates that are running. We have people who are already there, who are at-large candidates, but they are only the representative for the ward maybe that they stay in. I want to expand thinking to that phase. I want to make sure that we understand each other, and understanding comes with communication. And with communication comes you represent who you're there to represent. If you're there to represent from the Ironbound, maybe you don't want the big developments. Maybe you want bicycle lanes. Those are just a couple off my head. And in the West Ward, you may be more concerned, right, with health and safety and crime and things of that nature. So you're there not to make friends first and foremost, but to represent your constituents and what they have, right, in terms of concerns. And you're not there for friendships, all of that. And I think that it's okay that it's a bonus, but you're there to just do your job. And a lot of us don't understand business, and I for one don't agree that business and emotionalism exist, for the same reason that I don't agree that activists would make really good politicians, if you will. And those are my philosophical views on it, because one just has nothing to do with emotionalism and passion, and we have a lot of that, right? More passion than we have economic discourse, right? More passion than we have about reasons why we should be increasing our voter base. More passion than understanding about having caps on incentives for developments coming here is important to have discourse about, especially when you compare it to the millions of dollars that's being spent on entertainment and issuing awards to rappers and having 24-hour-piece hip-hop concerts when we're not having that same type of money or energy going to economic development here. And the proof is in the corridors that exist currently. So those are definitely, that's my answer to the question, that, we would get along in terms of just taking care of the business. That is my first and foremost priority.
All right. Khalil.
Yes, sir.
Can you play in the sandbox well with people, man?
In a nutshell, I'm gonna put it like this. I might be long-winded with my statement, but I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. On May 12th, we're going to have a family conversation. What I believe is this: majority of the people running have some type of form of relationship with the current administration. We all work together in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It's just that, again, as a family, we went a different route. Like how you doing a family reunion. It's some family members you just don't talk to. It's some family members you just don't agree with. That's what we have in here in the city of Newark. This many people running, evidently us as a family, we having some issues with each other, some issue with the way we think our family, our city, our body is moving. But I guarantee that every person running, the incumbents and the people that's running in the challenges, if you say something wrong about Newark, we're going to jump on you. We're going to defend the city against whoever, foreign and domestic. But we're just having a conversation as a family that, listen, we don't agree with what you're doing. We don't could you talk to your brother? Yo, bro, what you doing is messed up. That's what we're having in the city right now. We're having basically a opinion of differences. And on May 13th, because here's the real factor is the work has got to be done now. The work is getting done now. May 12th is just a job interview for a lot of folks, but the work is getting done right now today. The work is going to get done on May 13th. We're not waiting to see who's elected and who not, because the work still got to get done. Folks are still homeless. We still got issues with violence. We still got folks that need jobs. We still got folks that's, need a place to stay. Folks still, trying to rob Peter to pay Paul to pay their rent, pay their water bill, pay their mortgage. So whether whoever elected, you still got work to do. I also believe in the term of, in order to serve, you must have first serves. You got folks that saying, yo, let me jump out here and do whatever, whatever. But I mean, the understanding of what's really going on definitely have to be understood. Some folks is running on passion. Some folks is running with a plan. Some folks is running with determination. Some folks running on, I got unfinished business. At the end of the day, everybody is running for a reason. Everybody has a reason why they running. And the folks that support them will be damned, because I hear people say, oh, this person should drop out. You should sit on the sidelines. But what about the people that's supporting them? You want me to tell them, oh, yo, I got to sit this one out because such and such said sit down? No, we've been sitting down for far too long. That's why this many people is running, because basically people got something to say, and damn it, we going to say something. But ultimately, the true determining factor is on May 12th, when these voters come in here and vote, because that's all that matters. Because I hear people saying my sign's been ripped down. Oh, they threw my literature in the garbage. What I say that is, man, that happens every election, man. People are paid to rip signs down. People are paid to do that. But ultimately, the true determining factor is them voters going in that polling site and vote. That's why I say I see candidates paying people to canvass, paying people to phone bank, paying people to work on election day. I'm for one telling people to take the money. People got to pay their water bills. People got to put gas in their car. Take the damn money. If they paying you to fuck, yo, at the end of the day, you go to work every day, right? They cut you a check. You don't like the people on your job, but you taking a check, right? So if they going to sit there and give you
Wait, hold
$150
up.
to work their campaign, take the
Hold,
money, but vote for
hold,
somebody else, man.
hold up, man. Hold on.
I,
Wait.
I, I truly, Anton, go ahead.
I
Bro.
call it for
Now,
what
I,
it is.
now
If
I
you
don't got
paying
nothing
me,
to say, but we
yo,
all gonna
Anton,
lighten up for a minute and laugh. We
if listen, if you giving me a free check, not tax free, listen, man, listen, yeah, I wear the shirt. As a candidate, I'll go in there. Yo, Lil, what you doing here? They paying.
Hey, Khalil, hold up.
I
Yeah.
got daughters, man. I got kids, man. Hey, sneakers ain't cheap. Everybody over here got gas. You know how much gas is right now? You give me 150. Man, everybody that supported Khalil Kettles and all the candidates to win, take their money. If they paying you money to work election day, take their money. Cast a vote for us, though. But take their money, man. They
Now
giving you a
that's
free
love.
check at the end of the night.
That's
Take the
love. He
money.
shouted all of y'all out. Hey,
I think
Khalil,
that
hold up. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, laugh.
Everybody run it. Yo, take the money.
I think
Anton,
I think
hey,
that
Anton, come
Khalil.
here.
Thank you,
Listen.
man. Thank you for
No
making
money
that
to
music light
listen.
up.
Listen,
Thank you,
I
man.
got kids. I got bills to pay. I can't pay you to work the campaign for. Vote for me on GP. But if they offering you a check that you getting that night, you gotta pay gas in your car. You gotta pay your cell phone bill. You gotta put food in your house. Take the money. You heard it from me, Khalil Kettles, saying take the money. Period.
Everybody gonna vote for you for that alone.
I think
Hey, I can't pay for them, man.
Yeah.
before we get to Nadira and Noble, who are still here, to answer that question, right? I think Khalil actually, in a joking way, spoke about our economic times and the reality, and that was actually one of the questions that I had prepared to ask, but it's no need to even ask the questions. We deal with each other every day. We deal with the reality when we go to the gas pump, when we trying to just get something to eat real quick.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, it came out to that. And now, your items in your pocket, in your wallet, in your pocketbook dictate what you can eat.
Mhm.
And that's just the reality. But Nadira, we had a little bit of issues with your connection. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time.
Thank
And
you.
I truly apologize. I want to ask you the three questions,
Mhm.
basically your three pressing needs, and being able to work with people. Nadira, we know each other, and I will need you to explain how would you, after all this, how would you be able to collaborate with council members?
Okay, thank you. Yes, I was having some connection, but I'm here. Working with the council members, actually, I've worked with about each one in some type of. It's somebody that's talking right now.
Yeah, the camp. You guys with the you guys, our microphones. Sometimes I mute them, But
Okay.
I ask that you mute them because their mics are very, very sensitive and they pick up everything that's going on that may be going on behind you. So they're very sensitive. So, Nadira, excuse me for that.
Oh no, it's okay. I just knew somebody jumped in and they did it earlier, but thank you. But the thing about working with others, actually, I'm very great with that. I can work by myself. I can work well with others. And just trying to think off the top of my head, I believe I've done an event with just about every one of the council members. And that was because of my job. And that's where people get it confused. You can have a great job servicing, but I was servicing before I had the job, servicing while I have the job, because people think you work 24 hours, 7 days a week. And even after. So I don't really think it's a problem working with them, but at this point, when you're a constituent and they're elected officials, they're not listening. And being in the seat, it will be more influence, to just maybe have better conversations, because that's one of my top three. Because one thing is communication. We lost that in the city. They stopped talking to the residents. You have, the hearing of the citizens at every meeting, but are they hearing them? Because I haven't heard anyone say, and it may be a couple people, to be fair, no one has gotten a response. There's no response in the meetings. People I know for myself have sent emails, for the record, no response from the emails. And we need to communicate. Everyone is not on social media. I had suggested that, let's do town hall meetings. We do not have any scheduled. And please don't tell me about the meetings that they recently scheduled with their own agenda. We need meetings where you go and hear what the constituents really want to talk about, not what you want to talk about, not who you want to blame for the problems, and nobody is taking accountability. We need to bring back the robocalls, because it's funny that I used to get them, everybody doesn't get them. And just like the council people have aides. And one thing I do see that some do take certain sections that they're responsible for. I think that's a great idea, where they can go out in the community and talk to the people, because we have seniors, we have younger people, we have people that don't do social media at all, no matter their age. And there needs to be communication. There's a lot of departments that give out literature and publications, but yet I don't know if you guys remember the big communication train. They did a couple of photo ops. They were supposed to be going out every week. Heard about it one time. Like, what happened? We need to be consistent. Another thing is training, okay? Because a lot of departments that we have, and since the council people are over the departments, they need to be trained. We need to put people in. That's like my second thing. Stop with the family and friends. It's not a problem bringing in family and friends, because it's people you're comfortable with. But why do you have to have 5 jobs? Why you have to be the commissioner with housing? You got to be the Democratic chair. You got to be the council person. You got to be over recreation. Then your kids is your boss. You they boss here. It's too much of that. Look at the planning board. We took out one person that's been there for years, a commissioner. Then we just brought in the bishop. Like, what is that about? Was it announced? Why don't we announce this to the community that there's an opening? Because as we see, so many candidates are running. There's a lot of talented people in this community, but yet you wouldn't know, because I'm not your friend. You don't like me. I don't have the opportunity to join. That's my second thing. Open it up so the community can be involved. So where I'm lacking, you have the experience, you could bring that to the table. But unfortunately, if you're not part of the family and friends, you're not getting anything. And everybody talks about housing, yes, but we need to really break it down. Why do we have so many places that are inhabitable? It's too many. We need to train code enforcement. We actually need to give them more people, because it's not enough staff. But why? Number 2 of that point is, don't play with me about this landlord list, because you wrote an ordinance where the landlords are required to register to rent. So how do you make a list when they're supposed to already be registered? So therefore, we're not enforcing that. And how does one become on the list as a slumlord? We have slum tenants too. But what was the requirements? What is the criteria? What we need to do is start communicating, educating the residents, start talking to the people, and just stop playing with each other. And that's the reason why I'm running, because last race, our at-large just ran unopposed. Nobody came out with a platform. You're making everybody that's running this year, well, we got to give you everything from blood, sweat, tears. I got to have a whole plan. I got to mark it down and have it in the binder. But yet, the individuals that are encompassed, that are in place, you ain't asked them nothing. And that's fine, but my thing is, don't tell me, oh, I don't know you. You know what you have. So you want to stay with this for another 4 years? Or do you need something different? Because the times is real. We just had a mayor discussion where we keep getting fluff. We get fluff in 2018 because that was the last. They disrespected the last in 2022 and didn't give us the opportunity to have the debate, which how do you allow that? How do you make these decisions? So when you make decisions like that, guess what other decisions you're making that's not benefiting the people? And we need to make that change. So I'm not sure if I answered all the questions. I thank you for the time.
You good? You good?
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate your response.
Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Noble, are you able to, if you're elected, be able to play well with others?
Oh, absolutely. I play well with others now. Every event, I invite every one of my uh, people I'm running against. And they usually come. But I love them all. I mean, we of course we're competing against one another. But even Deborah was at my house on Saturday. You know, and my door is always open, and everybody knows that. You know, and I live my life continuously. I'm a, I'm also a DJ. People forget that. So I only live on love. I don't have no hate. You never see me spread hate or talk maliciously about anybody or even the mayor. I don't even talk bad about him. I disagree with him and his antics, but I don't hate him. You know, and I'm probably the most easygoing person in this room. I believe. I don't get upset. I don't get angry. You know, I'm one of those people because I know how to work through things. I know how to make things happen, and I always look at everything from a positive perspective. Also, I'm a biblical man. I teach the Bible. I work with people don't realize I work with Cornerstone Prison Ministry. That's how I started with the halfway homes. Um, and I have a heart for the least. Me and Sheila had a back and forth because Sheila's made a statement saying, "I never see you in the community ever." And I made a comment saying, well, I'm in the women's homeless shelter with my wife, and I'm also at the Cura downtown Newark, and I'm at the Seven Sources shelters um, because I was also lost my house and my whole family had to move to a basement apartment. And I tell the story sometimes, people don't hear it. Um, I went through this very horrible thing where my kids lost everything. They had to put everything we owned had to go in storage, and the apartment we were supposed to get, it fell through. I was a real estate agent in 2006 and 2007, and had a lot of deals, and the housing crash took everything from me, including the house that I lived in. And by the grace of God, I was able to build back and have the construction business get it up and running, and I was able to kind of move forward. So when it comes to working with others, how can I dare not when I've been in the worst of situations? And the thing is, we're in this together. Every single one of us. There's not one person here better than the next. We're all citizens of Newark. We're all product of our environment. And we're all here with a full desire to make every single person in our city better in what they're doing. So yeah, absolutely. If you know me a little bit, I have nothing but love for everyone. I may have a little tip in here with people because I'm running against you, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I mean, I still love you. Still, I love you, every one of even Jamar. I mean, him. I can see us hanging out. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, of course, we got off on the wrong foot with a couple of things. We are running against each other, so you're gonna have a little bit of a emotions play a role. But I don't think anybody here would ever say that, Noble has a problem with somebody, or Noble has a problem. He's not able to work with others. When here I got a household of 5 kids. Believe me, we had to work together all the time, and that's what I do. I bring people together all the time. What does it say? Jesus' prayer in John was, Father, make them one as you and I are one. And if I can't get that right, if I can't get that right to love the people I know who are not my enemy, and here Jesus takes it a step further, says, no, I want you to love your enemy too. And I can't get that right. How do I call myself a Christian? How do I call myself a man of God when I failed with the simplest of tasks? And I see the city not basically we kind of remove God out of our society. And we don't talk about God. It's actually politically incorrect to talk about God. You got politics and you got God, and they separated the two. I don't separate the two in my mind. When I speak to people who are homeless, I speak to them about God, and this is how we move things forward. When we start spiritually edifying one another, this is how we change the city from the inside out. You can have the greatest ideas in the world, and I got some pretty good ideas, but those ideas are meaningless in God's eyes if I'm not showing love in doing so. And I hope to when God looks down upon me, he says, "Hey, yeah, well done, thou good and faithful servant." But we got a lot of work to do together, and guess what? We do require us to come together in this. And this is actually Jesus' last commandment to us before he went to the cross. Father, make them one as you and I are one.
All right. All right, Eden, I have a question I want to ask you. And everybody has supporters. Everybody has a certain amount of people who have already committed to voting for them. If you're elected, you're going to be a person that's behind the curtain now. Khalil eloquently put the reality of our financial situation. It's going to be some tough decisions that are going to have to be made as leadership of this beautiful city. Now that you're in that position, you're going to get a lot of bad press. Those very same people that put you in place are going to, for lack of better words, rag you.
Yep.
How are you going to make those decisions and be able to handle the negative, not negativity, legitimate concerns, but y'all had to make some tough decisions that may have direct effect on people that supported you.
So my first comment is I'm gonna refer back to Khalil. Thank God that during this hardship I own a hybrid vehicle, so gas isn't that much of an inconvenience for me. Um, okay, I was a smart one and I got a hybrid vehicle. But listen, ultimately, right? I, I've said it plenty of times, and I'll say it again. My mission is always transparency and accountability, right? So I have to be transparent with people, and I have to take accountability as well, right? So as I'm transparent with people and telling them that I'm gonna deliver news, good or bad, I'm going to take the accountability aspect of it and tell you that it's bad myself, right? I'm not going to send one of my aides. I'm not going to send the representative. I'm going to sit you down in front of me, discuss the issue, tell you why it's not going to work, and guide you to the resources that can make it work for you if I can't make it work for you, or just break you the bad news myself, right? It comes with good or bad. Will I get bad publicity? Everybody gets bad publicity, okay? No, nobody's perfect, right? But being able to transparently tell your residents, this is not going to work. This is the reason why, okay? And I can help you with these resources to get you some sort of solution. That's enough, right? That's enough right there. Being able to communicate with the residents and giving them the flexibility of understanding why you made that decision. That is not available right now. Right now, the city is silencing its residents. The city, when you go up to those city council meetings, you are complaining. You are complaining. You are not making a comment. You are not making a comment. I hate it in those council meetings when they say, thank you for your comment. I'm not giving you a comment. A comment is a compliment. I'm not giving you any compliments. Nobody goes up there and says, great job, city council. Great job, Mr. Mayor. It's not a comment. Okay. But again, I have to take accountability for that. If I can't give you a result, I'm going to break the bad news to you, point blank, right? Will there be cuts in city budgets? There will be. There will be, because the only way to fix this economic distress we're in, we're going to have to make some cuts. But I'd rather you hear it from me. I'd rather you hear it straight from the mayor than hear it from News 12, than hear it from Tap Into, than hear that it happened behind the scenes, that it happened behind the closed door. We made a decision without you. Inclusion is the key, right? Once the residents are included and the residents know what's coming, they will be more receptive to the no's and that it can't be done, rather than having made the decision on your own with your own people behind a closed door, and the residents say, when was I going to be considered in this? So the perspective is going to be different. We're going to include you. You're going to understand why that no is coming, and we're going to guide you in the right path to get a possible yes from, don't forget, we're only a city, but we also can refer you to the county. We also can refer you to the state, and in some cases to the federal government to get your positive result if needed. So a no from us doesn't necessarily mean it's dead. It just means that you're going to have to go through other resources to get your yes. All right, guys.
Sheila, your mic is muted.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Sheila, you know that you got to make some tough decisions if you're elected mayor. You're going to be in that CEO chair, and some tough decisions have to get made. And a lot of people who supported you in the election process will be affected by some decisions made by the council. How will you be able to handle that?
I'm sorry, how will I be able to handle what exactly? You said I have to make some tough decisions.
The very same ones that supported you are now upset because decisions that you've made and the council have made is affecting them immediately. How will you be able to handle that?
What? I'm sorry. I'm
All right,
really
so,
trying to.
Sheila, I think what Quentin is trying to convey is that unfortunately, running for office is different than governing, and oftentimes residents want an immediate fix. But you know the old saying, everybody want heaven, but don't nobody want death. So there will
Yeah.
be some decisions that will have to be made if you really want to get the city back on track with regards to budgets, with regards to services, things that people say they need. But as you get in there and lift the hood up off the car, you see that there's a lot going on than just the transmission. It's the engine, it's the carburetor, it's the catalytic converter, it's everything. So what are you going to do when you're forced to make decisions that are adverse to what your supporters thought they elected you for?
Well, again, I think that we had a very good model of that growing up here politically in the city of Newark with former Mayor Sharp James, in that he always made sure.
That's a shut it down.
Who just said
everybody
that?
go mute? Could everybody go to mute, please, so she can respond, please?
Wait, who just said that?
Nobody. It doesn't matter. Please finish your response.
It's gonna stop. That's the third time I spoke, and if that was Milton, you need to stop.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna say that to you once and respectfully. Now I'll continue with the question.
Thank you.
We have a very good model with our former Mayor Sharp James in terms of incorporating everybody in the decision making that went on here. And I think one display of that was with NJ Pat. Again, just incorporated the community. I remember us being in there sometimes at even 2 a.m. for different decisions that took place, but we always felt that we had a voice, no matter how long, no matter the disagreement, everybody got a chance to speak, right? It was a level of respect that was always afforded. And even if some people didn't agree, the majority did agree, because from what I remember growing up, the majority would rule, and that's how it should be. Now, there's one thing that I want to implement that I think is very conducive to making decisions together, and it's a transparency tool. I talked about this tool in the Mayorl conversation that we had the other night, and it's called vibe coding. It really is a tool that will allow time data to be presented to the community in terms of where the money is going. And all the time, this data is up all the time. You go on anytime after work, before work, during lunch, to see how much money we're getting, where the money is going. Everything will be there, full transparency for people to see. And not only that, the tool also would afford us to have real time. Let's say people got a lot of sanitation issues. I hear a lot about that in Newark, and potholes, right? There would be a 48-hour, no longer than 48-hour turnaround using this tool, right? And so pilot program, and if it doesn't work, then we would look to see something else. But right now, from my research, that's a tool that I've seen that I really like, even in terms of economics. Just communicating about business in our area, and anything that concerns us, this tool would allow us to do it. AI affords us the technology to be able to do so much more than we're doing right now, even in terms of snow removal and the machinery that's available, and that we actually have the resources to afford to make sure the snow removal is done quickly and effectively. So, that's I think that would decrease a lot of miscommunication in terms of people being upset. And I would create an atmosphere where we can have conversations that are critical conversations, but conversations without a bunch of ignorance in place, because ignorance is not good for anybody. It's not good for our constituents, and it's not good for the leadership in office, because no matter how good we try to pretend that we are, at the end of the day, we're still human. And I don't agree with people always cursing out, the people downtown. You come, you say what you need to say, you be very clear and assertive with what you have to say, but all the cursing and disrespect, I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with cops being called on people. So there's a lot of things that are going down there now that I would definitely implement some things to decrease, the current negativity that's going on, and open up a different means of communication, because right now communication can't be next speaker. That's not communicating. That's actually offensive. It's disrespectful to people who are catching public transportation to come and partake in civil discourse in our community. So I think if we do some things to alleviate those types of situations, that we won't have the problems that we have now, and I think that that would put us on a better pathway.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Khalil.
Did I answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you answered the question. And listen, I'm gonna just let you guys know. I apologize for that. What happens is that when our connections are not real stable, a person's microphone will go in and out. So I understand it may seem like somebody's being rude or whatever, but it happens when your connection isn't stable. You go in and out. So you can have your mic muted when it goes out, and then when it comes back in, the mic will be hot, or you may not even realize it's picking up your voice. So I apologize for that, and we can proceed. Khalil, did you hear the question?
I heard it vaguely. You just repeated again. I know it's trap time. I apologize for asking you to repeat again, but can you repeat it again?
You behind the curtain now. You done became the councilman at large. Those that supported you is ragging you. How would you be able to deal with that? How would you be able to manage those that
Hello?
supported you now have to deal with the tough decisions that you've made that is directly affecting their life?
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear y'all.
What I said was,
All right, all
hold
right.
on.
People
All right.
ragging. It's kind of what's going on right now, isn't it? To be honest, listen, in politics, what I learned is it's no permanent friends, there's no permanent enemies. Regardless of what you do, somebody gonna have a disagreement with it. You can give everybody, you can do everything for everybody all the time. And that one time you say no, you the worst person ever. You ain't do nothing for me. You never showed up to my house. You never gave me anything. So you know, if elected, and the supporters that supported me, I'm gonna be fair with them. I'm gonna be fair with them now. That's why in running for office, we didn't promise anybody anything. Because at the end of the day, if you make a promise to somebody, or if you elect me, I can change this. No, you can't. If you elect me, I'm gonna deliver this. No, you can't. You can't I didn't make promises then. I'm not making promises now. The fact of the matter is we gotta work together. We're gonna be transparent. There's some things that I may not know of. And what I realize is experience is the best teacher. So there are folks that ran for office. There are folks that was elected officials. There are folks that are familiar with finance. There are folks familiar with recreation. There are folks that are familiar with the housing crisis and the housing issues in here in the city of Newark. So I'm going to resort to those folks, ask them questions, and bring back community meetings, bring it to the community before we bring it to a vote. Because ultimately, I want to be able to walk the streets after my term is over in office. I want to be able to, still experience Newark. I don't want to have to leave the city of Newark because I done lied to the people. I want to still, at the end of the day, my mother still live here. My family still live here. I still want to walk around with my head held up high that, listen, I was elected. I did the job that I was elected to do. I served in the capacity that I was able to serve, but I was also always honest and fair to the people. Of course, you're never going to find an honest person. Somebody, gotta be some type of shadiness, but it's not really shadiness. At the end of the day, it's compromises you got to make. So I'm going to be honest up there because at the end of the day, what people need to realize is you're only one vote on that council. So therefore, you can go in there like a person, like a crazy person, going there like Crazy Joe from Lean On Me. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And ultimately, you're going to get your behind vote up out of there. You're never going to get nothing passed. You got to have some type of compromises. You got to give to get, but you have to be honest and upfront with your constituents and with your supporters. Like, listen, you may not like the vote I'm going to make, but here's the reason why I'm taking this vote. Here's the reason why I'm voting this way. Here's the reason why I'm abstaining. I'm going to sit there and abstain things that's not beneficial to the community. Like, for example, we got a lot of things going on that they call community-based agreements that the community is not aware of. Folks are sitting here speaking on behalf of the community, what the community want, what the community needs, and the community don't know what the hell they talking about. We much more than just getting a bunch of movie tickets. We much more than just getting a bunch of ice hockey tickets when they don't even know how to play hockey anyway. Right now, we're dealing with the FIFA going on, right? The World Cup and everything going on. We need to make sure that Newark, if they're going to utilize our spaces in our areas, we got to utilize how we're going to make some of that money. Because go back to the money, $150 tickets to get on the train to go over there to MetLife, right? Newark has a great, especially in the Ironbound, we have a great format of soccer players down there, right? We need to, how we do with the Portuguese Festival and all the events that we doing in Ferry Street, we need to shut down Ferry Street, bring the big screens down there and make some of that money and generate revenue here in the city of Newark. How we shut down the streets for the 24 hours of peace. Put the big screens down there, downtown on Broad Street, and allow that football community is a large community. They spend money. They buy them soccer jerseys. They buy them cleats. They buy the balls. We're sitting here missing out on a great revenue opportunity if we sit there and let us pass us by. So at the end of the day, just to go, back off topic, but jump back on the topic is this. At the end of the day, as long as the residents know that you have a person that's like you, from you, understands you, pay water bill, pay taxes just like you, I'm going to explain, listen, I can't vote on that. Why? Because it doesn't in lines or correlates with the city of Newark and their beliefs. But, there are going to be some type of compromise that had to be made, but I'm going to be honest and upfront with the residents like, hey, listen, this is what's coming up. And this is the way I'm going to vote. Why I'm going to vote is this way? Because in order to get what we need in this community, in this area, we got to make sure we make it happen. You elected me to be your leader, to provide you leadership, provide you honesty, to provide you guidance, and to give you legislation. So allow me to do that job. Of course, you're not going to get everything you want. I'm not going to get everything I want. Life isn't fair. But as long as, and I want everybody to hear me, me running and me winning, hopefully, successfully, is basically not going to let the city of Newark down. It's not going to let you down. It's not going to let myself down. So, the decisions I make is on behalf of the residents here in the city of Newark. Like it or love it, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be upfront, and I'm going to keep the best interest for the city of Newark and the people of Newark in mind.
Thank you. Noble.
My bad, the volume. I don't know if y'all still hear me.
Yeah.
But, hopefully y'all heard what I said.
I was ready to vote for him for mayor. Man, that was good. Very good, man, Clip.
Noble, making those tough decisions.
You got to repeat the question because I had to sign in and out to get your voice back in. You guys were cutting in, and I had to keep rebooting this thing for whatever reason.
making those tough decisions. If you're elected mayor, you're going to be making those tough decisions. You're going to be sitting in that seat.
Mhm.
The very same people that supported you are going to be affected by those tough decisions. How are you going to be able to handle that?
Well, obviously, you don't make a single decision until you do a research on every single outcome of that decision. So every single thing you're going to do, every single layoff that's going to happen, you have to understand the outcome in perfect harmony with the city itself. You just can't blindly go ahead and start making cuts or reducing services um, just because we don't have the budget. The problem is again, this comes from we have a hard-headed administration. We have a city that I have never seen something like this. That they are fearful of private enterprise. Like I never seen nothing like it. You know, and I honestly I believe it's keep having a deliberate system of wanting to maintain poverty. That's all I can come up with. We are going to have to make cuts. And they're going to have cuts already. This coming once school's out, we're going to have teacher layoffs. We're going to have police layoffs. I would imagine we're going to have firefighter layoffs. Um, but you have to have an analysis of every single thing you're doing before you do it. You have to know the outcome fully, not guessing, before you make these harsh decisions. The thing also, we need to start grouping certain services together before we do any cuts. If we're going to lay off teachers here, well, what about the rest of these students? What are we going to do with them? We start to see that several things are working better than others. We start to see that actually charter schools are working better than public schools. So we need to start looking at what is it they're doing, and why is it working better, and why is it that the students who go to charter schools are 30% less in costs than kids who go to public school. Every single thing has a cause and effect. If we have to see when we remove certain elements and certain services, what's the effect of that decision that we just made? And I noticed that we have the council that's in play for every single ward. I worked with a lot of these guys for 30 years. You know, a lot of them. Katana, I knew Katana since 1981. He used to live above my mother's store. So I was very tight with these guys. I worked a lot with Joe DiVincenzo, and I worked with a lot with Senator Teresa and Sammy Gonzalez, and a lot of these people that I'm actually going against now. So it's actually hurts me that these people are kind of despise me now, which I understand. But at the same time, it has to be done because they're not doing the right thing for the city of Newark. So the tough decisions and that are coming for all of us will be for us to have to see what the consequences of our decisions of what we're cutting, how is it going to affect the families and the citizens of Newark, and how we're going to move forward from that. But we have to have a plan B. We have to start really bringing the community together and trying to take the weight off the burden of the city. If we don't think down those lines as a community, like, you know what it says, it takes a village to raise a child. We need to start thinking down those lines more so, particularly now that the city, we are really, really going bankrupt quicker than ever. And we really got to start taking things into our own hands apart from the government. Whether you're a mayor or your father or a mother, we have to now make a decision of how to get people off the system and get people working together as a community, more so than ever before. And this just goes hand in hand with public safety, the crime and bringing the crime down the street, working with those who are part of gangs. Why are people part of gangs? Why? Because there's no money, there's no jobs, and all these things are playing an effect in our city more so than ever before. Kids are getting smarter with crimes. These crimes are becoming more eloquent, and they're getting more coordinated. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't seen these people going into the malls and 18, 20 kids at a time, you don't think it's going to happen this summer? It's going to happen several times this summer. They're getting more swift with it, and unfortunately, the parents are at work so these kids are raising themselves, and these parents don't find out until after the situation happens. We really got to start seeing, like, what can we do to work more so as a community, particularly when these cuts are coming. And when we do make these decisions, how do we come together? How do we actually have parents helping parents? And again, parents of problematic kids, getting them the help they need on Saturday morning workshops. We need these type of things, and we need parents to host these workshops and to encourage parents. Listen, you're not alone in this. We know what you're going through, and we're there with you. So when these cuts come, and when we get into office, we're probably going to see these cuts come faster than ever before. We need to be ready and willing to make those hard decisions and understand the consequences before we do so.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anton, I put you in the middle because Nadira must have got a call because she dropped. Anton, you have a question for? You have more questions for our guests?
I I just wanted to wrap up saying that once again, I don't know if everyone was able to hear me. I know some of the first people that came on were able to hear me say that, I understand what it takes to run for office. And well, I want to commend you all because it's a courageous thing to do. Unnecessary ridicule or people wanting to shun you just because you're asking questions and asking for transparency, things that they promised to do when they ran for office, and
Yep.
somehow they lost their way. And I just want to say thank you all for coming on with us this evening and speaking with us and speaking to the viewership. And in the immortal phrase of Game of Thrones, like I wish you good fortune in the wars to come. And this is a war, and all of you are passionate about wanting to serve this community and serve the city. And once again, I just want to say thanks for your sacrifice. And good luck on May 12th.
Thank you.
With that, you
Thank
guys,
you,
I
Anton.
appreciate you guys. We're gonna close out. I know personally, I really thank all of you guys. I had the opportunity, and Anton had the opportunity to interview y'all on a one-on-one basis, and you guys still showed up to come to this forum that we put together, and we appreciate you guys. I know a lot of people that even answered that didn't come, and like I said, for no particular reason. This is not to slight them or anything, and know that what you guys doing does take a lot of personal sacrifice. You guys have shown a lot of passion for the city, and this is something truly amazing, regardless of who wins and who doesn't win. At the end of the day, on May 13th, the city of Newark won, and that's all that matters. And we do all need to chip in and play our part as a community to make Newark the way that a lot of us remember it used to be, and to really, really get it back to the vision that we all see. So appreciate you guys. Thank you, and have a blessed night.